Hi, Steve McMillen with the Kansas City Golf Association, and welcome to Rules Talk. Today we're going to talk about Rule 26, and it's a pretty confusing rule for a lot of general golfers because the question is, we have a yellow stake, we have a red stake. What does it really mean? Well, let's start off with the yellow stake. With yellow, it means you are in a water hazard, and with a water hazard, you have three options. The first option is, and I always like to joke about this, you can put your scuba gear on and you can go into the water hazard and you can hit your ball out. That's option number one. It's not going to cost you any penalty. The second option is you can always go back to where you hit your last shot from, under stroke and distance. It's a one-stroke penalty plus the penalty of losing your distance. The third and final option under a yellow is you have to determine where did your ball last cross the margin of the hazard. Then that is your reference point. So here I have crossed at this point right here. I have to use this as my reference point and keep that reference point between myself and where the hole is cut, and then I can go back as far as I want. So I'll walk back a little ways, keeping this spot between myself and the hole. I now can go back as far as I want. Now remember, you can go back as far as you want. So think about where you're going to best play your shot from. By going back further, maybe I could be in the fairway, or maybe I'm going to be in some shorter grass. So find that best spot for you, and then once again, hold the ball directly in front of you, drop the ball is now in play. Now, with the red stake, your ball is now in a lateral water hazard, and you have 5 options with a lateral water hazard. The same 3 that you had under a regular water hazard, plus the 2 additional. So let's review those again. Option number 1, you can play the ball out of the hazard without penalty. Option number 2, you can go under stroke and distance back to where you played your previous stroke from. Option 3, keeping the reference point where the ball last crossed the margin of the hazard, keep that between you and the hole and go back as far as you want. The fourth option is the option most everybody knows, and that's the 2 club links options. Again, find the reference point where the ball last crossed the hazard, take your 2 club links, and at this point, remember, you can use any 2 clubs in your bag you want. I'm choosing a shorter club because it gives me a better lie. I take my 2 club links. Now, this is the area that I have to drop in. Once again, hold the ball directly in front of me, drop, the ball is now in play. The 5th option is pretty confusing, and the normal golfer doesn't even realize it exists. So let's try to keep it pretty simple. What you need to do is establish that reference point again where the ball last crossed the margin of hazard. Then you can go over to the opposite margin, equal distance from the hole. Take your 2 club links, drop and put your ball in play. Sometimes this can be a very good option because now you couldn't be underneath a tree or at some taller grass. You could be in a very good lie. It's always an option, but it's a little challenging to learn.